Today we're going to be on another field trip outside. We wanted to take you to Carson City and show you one of our newer listings and what you can expect to see in Carson City for roughly $800,000. But first of all, if you're not exactly sure where Carson City is, it's actually about 35 minutes south of Reno. So from our office in South Reno, honestly, it's easier for us to get to homes in Carson City than it is for us to get homes out in the Sparks area. And this particular home is literally right in the middle of town. If Sydney pans around, she's going to show you right across the street from us is a park, and it's actually called Carrods Square Park, but we're going to show it to you real quick. So this house actually has nobody living right across the street from it. And again, if you're thinking about Carson City, where a lot of people I think don't realize how close Carson is, you can actually live here. Dayton is about 20 minutes to the east. If you were going to Minden and Gardnerville, it's about 20 more minutes to the south. And of course, honestly, from this house right in the middle of town back to Reno and the Reno airport, it's literally about 35 to 40 minutes to the airport. And of course, you can be out in the far ends of Sparks in 45 to 50 minutes. So it's a nice, very convenient location. And this is an area in Sparks, a little bit older house, or Sparks, we're in Carson City. We're in a little bit older Carson City area where it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage house, just under 2,700 square feet. And you're gonna see when we go inside, they've done some additions, they've done quite a bit of remodeling. And so we just wanna give you an idea of what you can expect to see in this area for that type of money. And even down the street, we've got some dead end streets. If you're not familiar with Carson City, it's all, again, the Carson School District, and it's basically one high school. Everybody goes to Carson High School, and everyone goes to Carson Middle School. And then there's multiple, of course, elementary schools, depending on what part of Carson City that you're in. But we want to take a field trip down here and give you guys an idea of an option for many people is Carson City. And really part of what it is that you can get something more affordable than you could in Reno. So we did a little digging around for some stats. And honestly, between $300,000 and $600,000, there was roughly 115 properties for sale. Some of them were under contract. And that next tier in Carson City was going to be between $600,000 and $900,000, which was about 60 homes. Once you get past $900,000, there was only a handful of properties for sale, and some of them are kind of in these outlying areas a little bit for Carson City. But just know, it's much more affordable. And if you're going to work and live or have a lot of activities in that south part of Reno, just know Carson is a really good option for you. So let's go on inside. Let's check this house out. And if you want to see the photos, we're going to have all kinds of good photos and video equipment for you. But if you go online, the address is 1844. I keep calling it Kalash. My daughter keeps calling it something else. But anyway, 1844 CALASH. You can look it up online, see all kinds of cool stuff. But we're going to go inside and we're going to show you around. So if you're enjoying the kind of content we're putting out there each and every week, please do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. We love to hear your comments, your thoughts, and please share our content with people that you know. All right, so we're going to take a look inside. We're going to show you this home was built in 1980, and the lot is just under a 1/4 acre. So you have plenty of space. You'll see when we get into the backyard. But when they did their addition and a little remodeling, they took away a little bit of the backyard, but we'll show you that as we go take a look outside. Ding. All right, so if you have the entry, you have this room to the left. Could be a living room, could be used as some sort of formal area, but it's sunk down in. You can see they've done granite counters, new floors, and basically you have this entry closet to your right. All the bedrooms are going to be up the stairs, but if you come in, there's a slight step down. And now what we have here for a house that was built in the 80s is a nice big great room. You can see here, we have a breakfast nook area. This pillar here, and there's another pillar there, this used to be the end of the house. So everything behind me and basically one small step down was added on. So what they're using it now is a formal dining room, a living space with a fireplace, and they've just made it one big great room where before it was a much smaller living space. If you come behind, you can see that the kitchen has been basically completely remodeled. We've got painted cabinets, new appliances, granite counters. There's even a little wine fridge down below. And what they did is it used to be a bedroom downstairs, and they've converted this room into basically like a big butler's pantry. So now for some of these older homes that don't have a overly big kitchen, now you've got granite counters, an extra sink space, and even a little bit small fridge. But this is awesome if you're someone who likes to throw parties, if you're someone that likes to cook, you can just store a lot of things in here. And again, if you wanted to, obviously, this room could be used for other purposes than what they originally did here. But I think this makes awesome space because a lot of times these older homes The kitchens aren't that big. So it really works out nice. But again, you can make whatever changes you want. This was a room that was a part of the original house. But as we circle back towards the rest of this great room, that room and that space over there was not part of the house. Again, a couple of step downs that you kind of have to keep an eye out for. But again, for people, I always tell them, if you like a floor plan or this kind of space, it's easy to change paint color. So if you're someone that wasn't a fan of the blue back there or the green here, these are always things that are easy to change. And as we've talked about in some of the other videos, when you're looking at a house, sometimes people get caught up in people's furniture, their belongings. You just have to be careful about that. We want you looking at the house and looking at what it might feel like with your stuff inside. So if you come down this way, we also have the laundry room, which is basically just a small area built under the stairs, but it is its own separate space. There is also, and I'm going to switch spots with Sydney, there also is a small little half bath down here that you can see. And of course, that's the door that leads into the 2-car garage, which we're not going to walk you in there. But I know for many people, that reason they want to poke their heads in there is they want to be able to see how much space there is, will my car fit, those kind of things. Our client who lives here has a big truck. He leaves it in the driveway. And of course, with the park right across the street and no houses right there, there is tons and tons of on-street parking. So just know if you're someone that maybe has multiple kids and you have more than 2 cars and you have to park outside, there's tons of space as you saw in that outdoor area. So now we're going to go take a walk upstairs and show you the other portion of the remodel and some of the other rooms as part of the house. All right, so now we're back right by the front door entry, and you come up these nice wide stairs, which makes it great if you're trying to move into a house. First thing we're going to show you is to the left is the master bedroom suite. So if you come in here, again, the wall used to end right here. And if you look up a little bit, Sydney, you can see there's cutouts now that normally would have been outdoors, right? So it was a decent sized master bedroom. And if you come this way, you can see they've done some nice remodeling, tile floors. This is the LVP floors. And they basically came in, put in some nice new 2 separate vanities, light fixtures, backsplashes. And again, huge shower area, tub, toilet. And then we have the master closet here. Now again, obviously this house is not looking the way it looked 40, 45 years ago when it was brand new in 1980. So when you get in neighborhoods like this, you're going to see a huge difference in the pricing based upon if everything was original versus had people done upgrades. And again, on this house, you're going to see as part of that downstairs, when we did that cutout downstairs, they have a whole extra room here where again, was the end of the house. And now they have turned this into a gym / workspace. So obviously you can use this room for many different things, but this is the way they're using it currently. And then you can see these nice big windows they added into their backyard. So it's made the whole master bedroom suite much, much bigger. And again, it's all permitted, where a lot of times you have to be careful with things where people like to do stuff and they don't permit all the work that they do to the house. But this one is definitely permitted. She actually works for the building department, so she's really versed on getting all this kind of stuff done. So it's really made this area a lot bigger and nicer. And then it leads you into what I always call, again, those 2 kid bedrooms that are just right over here that in these older homes sometimes are really good size. And I always tell people, depending on what you're seeing, it's easy to change a paint color. It's easy to change out some doors or some other fixtures or things along those lines. But you've got your 2 kid bedrooms, nice size, both off the front end of the house. And then you've got your shared hall bathroom. And the shared hall bathroom has those original countertops. And this would be a room that a lot of people might want to remodel. But typically, I always say the hall bathroom or the room that your kids sort of use, that tends to be one of the last rooms people tend to remodel because it's just not worth it for them as far as spending money goes. But if you show them again, Sid, and you can show them down the stairs. So there's just the 3 bedrooms and the 2 bathrooms up here. And then you can see from a different vantage point, maybe walk down a couple of stairs. That's that great front room that you could use for a lot of different things. They've been sort of using it as a play area, but I know for a lot of people that would be turning into more of a formal dining area. Maybe you put a pool table or a ping pong table there, or make it more of a formal living space. You can use it for a lot of different things. So anyway, but again, houses like this, lots of different variety, lots of different things as far as upgrades and features. But again, roughly $800,000, just under 2,700 square feet. And if someone really needed a 4th bedroom, there are ways between that front area and a couple other options that you could do some things. So with that being said, we're going to go take a look outside because this has an amazing backyard. And the cool part about homes built in the 80s is you have these massive, huge trees, mature landscaping. So you've got this great access behind your house. And of course, if you wanted to throw a ball around, you got that great park right across the street. So let's go take a look outside so we can show you more of what this amazing house looks like. So if you're someone who's thinking about starting your journey on moving into Northern Nevada, do me a favor. Click the link in the description below. We'll give you a free copy of our buyer's guide that gives you a ton of information on what you need to know to get your journey started on moving to Northern Nevada. So we're now in the backyard, and you can see they built out a nice big garden space, but you can see there's tons of room. And as we start to walk through this, again, you've got this area that you could literally do a lot more. What they put in decomposed granite as far as part of the landscaping goes. But as Sydney goes that way, you can see they've got a garden window, and then the house now juts out. The house used to sit back before they put that big addition on. Beautiful paver patios, tons of space. And as you pan up a little bit, you've got these massively big trees, but you've got lots of room on both sides. And again, you could change it up. But the cool part with these older neighborhoods are you get all these big, cool trees. So as we come over here, lots of room on the side yard still. There's a shed here. And really, the way this house sets up, if someone really needed RV access, we've got a double gate. You could probably make that gate wider. And if you remove this shed, you'd have tons of room for RV access. But as you pan back the other way, you could always put a shed back over on the other side of the property. So, you know, lots of room, lots of privacy. You've got one-story houses on the one side. Behind you, behind all these trees, you don't see a whole lot as far as other activities go. And so like I always tell people, the cost to put in your backyard if you buy new construction can be prohibitive, especially if you want to make it to this level. Because again, you've got big trees. Just spend a bunch of time and energy and money trimming them down, cleaning them up, getting some of the dead parts off of some of these trees. But their landscaping is really nice. And of course, they've got these double doors that you could open up. You see a lot of times on some of the brand new construction, we've got those like foldable wide open doors. Something you could do to make this much more of an indoor-outdoor living space if you really wanted to. But for the most part, they've done a great job, been recently painted. And like I said, for a house that was built in the 80s, that's had a lot of remodeling done, that, like I said, it's going to be right in this high 7s, 800 range. It's a really good buy. For a property like this, if you were more in the Reno area or the Sparks area, of course, depending on the age and parts of town, things can change dramatically. But again, property taxes here just under $4,000. And for those of you that don't know a ton about Carson City, again, elevation, weather, climate, very similar to Reno. We're looking at 4,700 feet of elevation. And the city of Carson is roughly 60,000 people. So I always think of when you're talking about Reno, Sparks, Fernley, Dayton, Carson, all these surrounding cities, the whole area now is pushing 700,000, 800,000, 900,000 people. But the city of Carson itself, roughly 60,000, great small community. And again, mostly older properties. So properties like this, for people that like a little bit older, you're going to find a lot more of this in Carson than if you're looking for new construction. There is a little bit of new construction going on around here, but not nearly like you would see in Reno and Sparks. So again, for those who like a little bit older stuff, you know, pretty good choices for you. So anyway, if you have questions and want to know more information about Carson or this specific property, reach out to us. We'll be happy to get you more information. All right, so we just walked out to the front yard of this house at 1844 Kalash is what I'm saying. And you can see literally just across the street, there's a park. So you've got tons of parking, tons of access. And again, if you want to host an event, you want to do a kid's birthday party, you want to throw a ball around, everything is literally right here. So let's take a little bit of a look, Sid. We'll give you guys a better idea based upon, like, there's a play structure. And again, if you were someone who's just a runner or wanting to get a few things done, this actually works out really nicely for you. So let's take a quick peek. I mean, you saw we had to walk all of about 20 seconds. And as you sneak right through here, especially for those of you that have littler kids, here you go. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, we definitely don't want to. So we're right here on the corner of Kalash and Cabriolet, which is literally just across the street, and the corner of this park where their house is here. And you can see when we start to move a little bit, we are not very far from anything. So as we start to, we like to kind of take you on these little neighborhood drives if at all possible. But literally this quickly, again, it's kind of funny how this park right tucked in the middle of this neighborhood. Sid, here's the sign coming up on the left right now that's going to show you the name of the park. But it's literally just right in the middle of this neighborhood. I'm going to bump around a little bit. And then right here is Winnie Lane. Winnie Lane's one of the major, I don't say major, but relatively major thoroughfares here in Carson City. And as we drive back this direction to the east, actually, we are not very far, I'm going to say less than 3/4 of a mile back to the main drag, where if you turn left, you can go all the way to Reno. If you turn right, you can go all the way to Minden, Gardnerville in those directions. And like we talked about, where you are in Carson, nothing is very far. Reno is about 35 minutes. Minden, Gardnerville is about 20, 25 minutes. And out to Dayton, same thing, 20, 25 minutes. So you can literally get around to all the major areas no matter where you happen to work, or if for some reason one of you in a relationship, one of you works in Minden or Dayton and the other works in Reno, you can live in Carson, and it makes that commute time relatively easy for both of you. And of course, if you work in South Reno, it keeps you out of that spaghetti bowl. It keeps you out of that major traffic area because, again, with Carson being smaller, there's not nearly as much traffic down here as you would see in those Reno areas. So we just wanted to give you a quick idea. All the shopping, everything you need. There's Costco's, Home Depot's. I mean, Carson City is definitely big enough to have all the amenities and all the features that you're looking for. And again, in a short drive, you're back to a major airport so that you can travel and get around the whole entire West Coast really easily, and then be able to travel anywhere else from there. So just wanted to give you kind of a quick idea of where we are. And I'm sure in our videos, we show you a pretty good map of what we're doing. So if you're enjoying the content we're putting out there and you're thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, I know we just talked about Carson City today, but check out this video we did about Reno versus Sparks so you can learn more of what you need to know about all things Northern Nevada.